The board will now reconvene in open session. The time is 6:35. We thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to join us tonight. At this time, we would respectfully ask you to turn off the sound of your cell phone. And may I remind anyone wishing to address the board that they must have completed a public comment card before the start of the public portion of tonight's meeting, indicating the agenda item or topic about which they wish to speak. As your Board of Trustees, we are here to set goals for the district, listen to reports presented by the superintendent and his designees, approve and review the budget, approve certain personnel appointments and contracts, and make policy for the district. Management is the responsibility of the superintendent. It's the board's responsibility to govern the affairs of the district and ensure that the district is moving forward and meeting the vision and goals that are set on an annual basis. Meeting times for our board meetings are posted on the AISD website at AbileneISD.org, and the public is invited to attend. This time, I'd like to ask Ms. Kimberly Brumley, Director of Federal Programs and District Planning, to lead the invocation and pledges. Welcome, Kimberly.
Thank you, President Wiley, Dr. Kuhn. May we all bow our heads. Heavenly Father, as we gather here today, we ask for your guidance and wisdom. Help our trustees and administration to make decisions that reflect the best interests of our students and their families, our staff, and the Abilene community. May their discussions be filled with respect and understanding, and may they work together to create an environment where every child thrives. Thank you for inspiring them to serve, and may their efforts be a source of encouragement and hope for those they represent. Amen. Thank you all for standing. I brought some friends with me tonight. For the last 6 years, I've been the proud troop leader for Troop 7002 here in Abilene, which began at Austin Elementary in 2018. After COVID, we were hosted by Heavenly Rest Episcopal Church, and these are some of the scouts who are all AISD students.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, one indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now it's time to do the Texas flag. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Would you like to meet them?
Thank you, ladies. I would
Thank
love
you.
to.
You may
meet
all
them.
sit down. We'll make you all stand for this part. Would you like to start the introduction?
I'd love to get a picture of you guys with the board too, if that's okay.
Well, let's hear your names.
My name is Ruby Rangel. I go to Taylor Elementary. I attend at Taylor Elementary, and I go in 4th grade.
Welcome, Ruby.
My name is Caroline Macaluso, and I am in 6th grade at Craig Middle School.
My name is Isabella Townsend, and I attend Bonham Bulldogs in 4th grade.
My name's Emily Brumley. I attend Abilene High School, and I'm a junior.
Thank you, girls. Thank y'all for being here. You did a good job. Good to have you all. Beautiful.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Great job.
All right. Perfect. Take a couple quick pictures. 1, 2, 3. All right. Thank you.
Good job, girls. Thank you.
We'll now move to item 3C. Nope. We'll now move to item 4C. That will be Board and Superintendent announcements. Dr. Kuhn.
I have a couple emails I'd like to read. The first one is from Taylor Elementary School. This was sent to me by Taylor Parker, and it says this. Good evening, sir. My wife and I are both employees of the district at Craig Middle School, and all 3 of our kids attend Taylor Elementary. I have permission to read this, by the way. I want to give you a little backstory about my daughter. Since she was born, she has been sick and was not growing very fast at all. She was diagnosed lactose intolerant, so we thought just cutting out dairy from her diet would help. Unfortunately, she continued to be sick and was still not growing. Last December, we had her tested for celiac disease. When it came back positive, our whole world was turned upside down. So many restaurants are suddenly off limits, having to spend extra time in grocery stores checking every single box to make sure the product did not contain gluten or was even produced in a factory that has gluten. It is so unbelievably difficult to make sure she gets food that is not contaminated by gluten. Gluten was explained best by my mom, Abilene High AP Tracy Parker, who also suffers from this disease. Gluten is like glitter. It gets everywhere and is nearly impossible to clean up completely. So my daughter had to bring her own food every day to ensure that she would not get the gluten glitter near her. Special Play-Doh had to be purchased because regular Play-Doh contains wheat. Her teacher, Miss Hancock, took all our words to heart and has been taking phenomenal care of our daughter to make sure she does not get sick. On Wednesday, the nutritionist from downtown called my wife and explained that the nurse at Taylor Elementary put in the information for the school to provide a completely gluten and dairy-free menu so that our daughter can participate with her friends in getting school breakfast and lunch. When we informed our daughter she would be receiving food at school, her words exactly were, "Now I get to eat with my friends." As parents and educators, my wife and I felt those words in our core. I want to highlight and commend the Taylor staff, Nurse Jenny Mathis, Miss Haley Hancock, and Miss Leslie Roberts, as well as nutritionist Mary Roberts. I would also like to thank the Taylor cafeteria staff for preparing food for my daughter so she can continue to grow, stay healthy, and thrive. Employees like them are why my family and I choose Abilene. Very respectfully, Taylor J. Parker. And here, you see the screen? Look at that happy smile. I think that's just awesome. Are the Parkers here? Did they come? Look, right over here. Would y'all stand, please? Let's give them a big round of applause. I just want to thank y'all very much for sharing that positive story and giving kudos to those people who've worked so hard and done such a good thing. It's so inspiring to read. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you. Say thank you.
I have one additional email I'd like to read. This comes from Donna Alexander, Assistant Principal, Madison Middle School. It says, "Dear Dr. Kuhn, I wanted to share some positive feedback from a parent highlighting the impact that a few minutes of personal praise can have. Today, a parent emailed me to recognize Mrs. Jackson for taking the time to call and share how much she enjoys having Ruby in her class and the growth she's seen in her since the beginning of the year. The parent expressed appreciation saying, quote, 'I really appreciate her taking the time to do that. I am thankful for Madison Middle School teachers and staff for the job you all are doing.' This message speaks volumes about the positive relationships we can foster through small gestures. I believe that these brief moments of connection build a strong foundation of trust and respect, and they're truly valued by our families. Thank you for your support in encouraging practices that strengthen our school community. Warm regards, Donna Alexander, 7th grade assistant principal, Madison Middle School." Miss Alexander, are you here tonight?
Miss Jackson is.
Miss Jackson, are you here? Could you stand?
Yeah.
Let's give her a big round of applause. Thank you so much for what you do for our kids. What a wonderful story. And that is everything for superintendent announcements tonight.
Well, we'll just move right on to becoming one of my favorite things, the teaching minute.
Teaching minute. Let it roll.
Use the strip diagram to create a division word problem that solves for the unknown, the total number of threes in 4,194. Can I have a volunteer read that again?
Hi, I'm Tycee Western, 4th grade math and science teacher at Dias.
The readiness TEK for this lesson was 4.4H, which is to solve with fluency 1- and 2-step problems involving multiplication and division, including interpreting remainders. So now this strip diagram matches the story problem because we have our total, we have our 8 equal groups that have 31 in each, and then we have our remainder 1. Is there anything missing?
No.
No, so we're good. So this lesson was focusing on division word problems up to 4 digits.
What is our equation that's going to match this story problem? Logan?
I taught it in 2 different groups, which we call parallel teaching. I give a pretest at the beginning of my module, and that helps me determine which group the kids are in. After I go through the lesson, I give the problem set and exit ticket to my first group, and then I teach my lower group afterwards. I usually do a few more problems with them so that they can see more examples. I just give them a little extra support.
What do we do next? Yeah, no, you're right, Nick. Yes.
One thing I like about the parallel teaching is that some of my kids are more willing to come up to the board, and that gives them a chance to really cement their understanding of the skill because they're turning around and teaching it to the second group. The kids have taken ownership of that and love to be little mini teachers themselves and teach the lesson since they've already had it. So this lesson is towards the end of the module, actually. So we're now going into area and perimeter, and we're going to use some of the big numbers for area and perimeter, which they'll need to know multiplication and division in order to solve those.
Every day. Well, that's what happens every day when teachers wake up and get to the classroom, every day, all day. And we just need to remember that's what happens in our classrooms and on campuses. Now, we're going to move to item 5, recognitions. First up, cross-country state competitors. Coach Jim Garfield, come up and tell us about that.
Oh, President Wiley, Dr. Kuhn, board members. You know, it's always fun to stand up here, talk about our athletes, and obviously competing at the state level is unbelievable. You know, when you run cross country, it's them against the time, and for them to get there, they did quite a great job by accomplishing that. I'm going to start with Coach Cunny. She's going to come up, and John, you got to come with her. Yeah. This is Coach Kayla Cunny. She's our first year head boys cross country coach here at Abilene. So take over.
Thank you. Hello, thank you all, board, for having us here. Thank you, administrators, parents, teammates, everyone for supporting us all year long. This is John Alcatar. He's a senior. I met him this summer in June when I first got the position, and as soon as I met him, I knew this kid was a hard worker. And so I knew, you know, from the beginning that he was going to go places. At district, John was our district champion. He ran a time of 15:18, helping our team place first place in district. At the regional meet, he placed 4th and ran a time of 15:55. At state, he placed 35th out of 151 runners and ran a time of 16:23. I know that wasn't his goal, but that's still an awesome race for his first time, you know, competing at state. He was a 4-year student running district, he ran 4 years at district, and they won last year as well at district. He ran 4 years at regionals, and then his personal best he ran this year, which was the 15:18. He is looking to run at Western Texas College, so we're really looking forward to see what he can do the rest of his career.
Good job. Good luck, John.
That's good. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, thank you. Congratulations.
Good job, kid. Right on. All right. Next up is Coach Rosemary Martin and our girls team that qualified. So, Rose, you ready? Yeah.
All right, again, thank you again for having us here and for all the parents and friends in the community for their support. Again, introducing to you here, I have your district champions, your regionals, third place finishers, and your state qualifiers. I'm going to introduce going seniors through our freshmen. Unfortunately, our number 1 runner, Mason Murray, cannot make it today. She's also president of FFA. A lot of them are very smart young ladies, and so she's in charge of hosting that meeting. But she was our district champion. She finished 7th at regionals and 17th at state. She led her team to 3 district championships in her career. She was a 4-time all-district, 4-year regional qualifier, and a 3-state qualifier, with her best time this year of 18:11. College-wise, she's still undetermined. Today, we do have our number 2 runner, which is Zoe Van. She is our district runner-up. She finished 4th at region, and she also led her team to a 3 district championship in her high school career. She was 4-year all-district, 4-year regional qualifier, and also a 3-year state qualifier. Last year being her best finish with 34th with a time of 19:13, and her best PR this year was an 18:16. College undetermined at this time, but does want to run. So we're looking forward to a great track season. Our number 6 runner was Jaslyn Ortiz. She is a 3-year.
Which one? Raise your hand.
Jaslyn.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Jaslyn Ortiz is a 3-year varsity runner. She's a 3-year regional qualifier and a 2-year state qualifier. And her personal best this year was 22:05. And I also have to say she is one of our homeschool kids. So we thank you for that. At this time, college undetermined. We have our number 7 runner, senior, Caroline Besant. She is a 2-year varsity runner, 2-year regional qualifier, and a state qualifier for the first time this year. Her personal best this year was 22:15. We move on to our juniors. We have our number 5 runner, Emily Brumley. She is a 2-year varsity runner, a 2-year regional qualifier, and a state qualifier this year. And her personal best is a 20:11. Sophomores, we have Remy Batten, also a multi-sport with swimming. This is her first year running. She is a regional qualifier, a state qualifier, and a personal best of 20:03. Our number 4 runner, also a multi-sport athlete, playing volleyball and running track. She's a regional qualifier, a state qualifier, and her personal best of 20 minutes. And our alternates, they put in the same work as all the other ones, and so we have also our sophomore, London Woodard, and our freshman, Kinsley Robinson, and Aubrey Preacher. Again, ladies, thank you for the memorable season. I'm so excited to see what our track season is going to be like, and it was very fun and exciting year. So we thank you very much.
Congratulations, girls. Too much fun.
Way to go, girls. Good job.
Yeah, there's plenty of space. Perfect. Okay. 1, 2, 3. One more for good measure. Thank you, guys.
After the meeting, we're going to do a school board versus students race around the building.
Nah.
I'll keep the time. Congratulations, girls. And
yes,
John.
very exciting. Next, our Purple Star designated campuses will be, I'm sorry, I have to catch up over here. Who is it? Okay, Dr. Jordan Zemer, Director of Communications.
All right, good evening, President Wiley and Dr. Kuhn and board. I have the privilege tonight of coming to help recognize some campuses who accomplished a really awesome thing on behalf of our military-connected families and students. So principals, I know some of you are in the room. If your campus is on this list, will you join me up here? So the Purple Star campus designation is a designation given by the TEA to campuses that do an outstanding job of creating a welcoming environment for military-connected families and students. It is an honor for Abilene ISD to get to serve those families. I have airmen in my family and love them dearly, and the opportunity to be part of a district and work with principals like this who lead campuses that serve these families so well. It's something we should be really proud of as a school district. It's a privilege for those people to be part of our community here in Abilene and be part of our school district. So tonight I'm just setting the stage. I want you to hear from, we have a representative from Dyess Air Force Base, our family liaison, Darcy Hodges. She's going to come tell you a little bit more about her role and also what this award means and why it's such a big deal to have so many of our principals standing behind me right now earning this recognition tonight. So Darcy.
Hi everyone, I'm Darcy Hodges, school liaison at Dyess Air Force Base. I've been there just over a year. Before that I was a teacher for Abilene AISD, and I loved every second of that as well. But as the school liaison at Dyess, my entire job is to support, advise, and build relationships with our civilians and our military families to support the unique challenges that our military families face. So in case you didn't know, we have Texas is number 2 in the nation to Virginia on the number of military connected students. And so Abilene ISD has about 1,100. So we have a good amount in your district. And the Purple Star, like Mr. Zimmer says, that this is going to be dedicated from TEA. They're the ones that they apply to TEA, and they're the ones that honor the recognition of these campuses. 3 of these campuses have earned the designation. This is their first time. So Long Early Childhood Center, Taylor Elementary, and Thomas Elementary, this is their first time being recognized as a designated campus. But Bassetti, Dyess, Ward, Clack, and Cooper have received before, and so they renewed their certification on that. And just so for your information, what it takes to become recognized, you have to have a military liaison recognized on your campus as a point of contact for families when they do come to your campus. They have to have a website that gives military-connected resources for our families as they're transitioning. They have to have a student-to-student program or some type of transition program that welcomes families as they come in new to your area and your campus. And then they have to do one of a few things. They can partner with me in bringing military-connected members there or supporting their campus in that way. Month of the Military Child events. In April, they could do a resolution, which Abilene ISD has had in the past. So there's a culmination of things that you can do. There's no extra money associated with it, but I will tell you that our families are looking, okay? And so it is a big deal. They want to know that you are dedicating efforts to our military families. So I appreciate what these guys have done. And really, there are many, many other campuses that could be recognized that I hope do apply this year. I would love every campus to be a Purple Star campus. So we're going to just go down, well, let me just go down the list. Is that okay? I was going to bring them a coin. So in the military, getting a coin is a pretty big deal. You get honored with a coin. But I think I'm going to go to every campus. I talked to Jordan about it, and maybe do it during your staff meeting. And then, because these are the leaders of those campuses, but a lot of other people participate in supporting our kids. I just think it would be more impactful if I showed up and did it that way. So, Long Early Learning Center. Come on up, Billy. Yep. Melissa is the liaison at Long. Bassetti Elementary. Dyess Elementary. Taylor Elementary. Thomas Elementary, Ward Elementary, Clack Middle School, and Cooper High School. So on behalf of Dyess Air Force Base, I just want to say thank you so much to all of you for what you do for our military kids, and like I said, the many other great campuses that we have in Abilene ISD. So that's it. Are there any questions for me?
That's awesome. Well, when you said 2,200, was that
1,100 in your campus.
I mean, 1,100. Was that students or families?
That's students.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
I wanted to be sure.
Yeah.
I dozed out or something.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Never.
Okay, this is just my monthly reminder. If I can't see you, or if you can't see me, I can't see you. And vice
I'm
versa.
gonna buy me a stool.
Let's see. Might need.
Don't worry about
you're
me.
Good now.
I'm used to it.
Cindy, you might take a step this way. There we go. I can see you.
Oh,
now.
that's my bag here.
Okay, I think I've got everybody. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, principals.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much. We'll now move to item 6, oral, nope, yes.
one more.
One more. District-wide Consultation Committee, DWCC.
Good to be with you again tonight.
Thank you, Kimberly.
The District-wide Consultation Committee is a group established by policy to assist the district in decision-making by providing input from a variety of staff perspectives. We have 15 members total on that committee, 9 of them elected from among the staff, and then 2 parent representatives who are not district employees, 2 community members, and 2 business representatives. We have many of them here tonight to recognize. This is an initiative of the board to celebrate all of the ways that Abilene ISD offers the community to participate in the decision-making around district policies and practices. We're really excited to have this group of people here tonight. So I'm going to call by name the group of people who are here tonight, let you know a little bit about each of them, and then you'll get a picture with them. I understand. Okay, so tonight we have Autumn Phipps, who is here as a teacher representing those who are certified to work with students with special needs. We have Shay Robertson, who's one of our CTE teachers, Mackenzie Trammell, who teaches 3rd grade, Kajenna Jones, who works in our therapeutic intervention settings, Sarah Garza, who works with our students who are learning English as their 2nd language, or sometimes 3rd or 4th or 5th language. Julie Jackson, who we already heard about tonight, doing amazing work over at Madison Middle School. Wendy Moreland, one of our champs coaches. Amanda Pittman, who is a proud parent of students at Mann Middle School and Abilene High. Todd Mullins, a parent from Craig Middle School. We have Darcy Hodges from Dyce Air Force Base as one of our business representatives. And earlier tonight, we had Beth Pruitt here. She couldn't stay because she had a conflicting event and had to leave early. And we have a couple of other community and business members that weren't able to join us tonight. But these folks meet at least 6 times a year to do a remarkable amount of work, giving input, looking at data, helping us decide what our priorities need to be in order to accomplish the goals that you've set for us as a district. So thank you all so much for the work that you do for the district.
Thank you.
You get to go have a picture
Okay. Y'all just want to fill any gaps you see. There we go. No, you're good. You're good. Let's see. There we go. There we go.
You're fine.
It's like y'all knew. Okay. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Yes, no, wow, we appreciate it.
Board, we had a little hiccup with our camera, and we would like the opportunity to retake our photo with our Girl Scouts, if you're okay with that.
Yes.
Sure.
So if you guys will just line up one more time. Thank you so much for the extra time.
I'm glad y'all didn't
Thank you,
leave.
girls. You know exactly where to go this time, right? All right. Thank you. 1, 2, 3. One more. All right. Thanks.
Thanks, girls.
Okay. We'll now move to item 6, oral communication from the public. The board encourages comments about district from members of the public. Anyone wishing to address the board must have completed a public comment card before the start of the public portion of tonight's meeting, indicating the agenda item or topic about which they wish to speak. Do we have any comment? Better than me, I hope. Do we have anyone tonight? All right, then, we will have, moving right along to consent agenda.
No, you have to turn it in before they gavel in. I apologize.
Sorry. Thank you, though. Appreciate your being here. Oral never mind. We're going to move on to consent agenda, which is item 7. The AISD Board of Trustees meetings are preceded by an in-depth board workshop. Board workshops are held prior to regular meetings. The purpose of the workshop is meeting of the board is to discuss items in preparation for potential consideration at future board meetings. Meetings sometimes for board meetings are posted on the AISD website at abileneisd.org. The public is invited to attend. Does a board member need to remove anything for discussion from the consent agenda? Do I have a motion regarding the items on the consent agenda?
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We'll now take a roll call. Who is that? Okay, thanks, Billy. We'll now take a roll call vote. Danny Wheat?
Yes.
Blair Schrader?
Yes.
Rodney Goodman?
Yes.
Bill Enriquez?
Yes.
Taylor Tidmore?
Yes.
Cindy Earls?
Yes.
Angie Wiley? Yes. The motion passes 7-0. Now let's move on to item 8, reports. There she is. Jennifer, come right on up.
Good evening.
This is Jennifer Hines, Executive Director of Finance.
Yes, ma'am. Good
Welcome.
evening. I am glad to be here. I'm going to preface this a little bit because Dr. Waldron and I were talking, and I think this is the first time the Finance Department has had a report. So I thought a little bit about where to start, and so I'm going to start kind of at the beginning. And I have to tell you, you see reports that come from the Finance Department every month in the monthly financials, but sometimes what you don't see is what goes on behind the creation of those and much, much more. And so I want to take tonight to really introduce you to some faces that you may or may not have seen and give some credit where credit's due, because it takes a whole lot of hard work from a really great group of dedicated people. And they have no idea I'm doing this because they probably would not have approved, especially using pictures, but that's okay. So this was a group photo. The majority of us are in here, but there's a few missing. Last year at the AISD Christmas party. So I wanted to put in a group. We are a really unique, diverse group that works extremely well together. I can't say enough good things about our group. So I'm going to jump right in, and I want you to meet our payroll team. Jennifer Stoneroad is our payroll supervisor. Holly Stallings, Tracy Haas, and Kayla Grantham are all payroll specialists. These ladies run like a well-oiled machine. I never have to worry about anything going on in payroll. They have it down to an exact science. And, it's really a big job. There's a lot of, think about paying every employee, every substitute, every temporary worker. Not only that, but making sure year-end reporting is done correctly for W-2s, our quarterly reporting, we're paying in our taxes on time, to make sure we're on schedule with the IRS. There is a lot that goes into it, and these ladies do such an amazing job. I wanted to throw in a few little facts of maybe sometimes you don't think about all of the little details, but on average, so over 5,000 checks a month. Now we do semi-monthly payroll, so everyone's getting paid twice a month. A lot of checks, a lot of money running through payroll, and they do it with excellence. There's never a time where a 941 doesn't balance or an incorrect amount is paid in. It is always to the penny and done very well. So I'm very, very grateful for them. Our next section is our accounting team, and this really is majority of accounts payable. Mandy Thompson is their supervisor. Laura Brockovich is a clerk and a receptionist for us. She's kind of the one that keeps us on track and
keeps us running well, and is so beneficial to us. She helps both payroll and accounting when needed. And then our accounts payable clerks are Tiffany McCoy, JC Amaya, and then Connie Padilla. Connie actually just left us Friday to go to purchasing. So she's still here. There was an opportunity for her in purchasing as a buyer, and so we were thrilled for her. But I didn't want to miss out. She's been with us a little over a year and a half, and has done an outstanding job. These ladies are the same as payroll. Never have to worry. There's not really a single person in our department that I have to worry about if the job's going to get done and if it's going to be done right. Things can get done, that's one thing, but are they done right, and are they done well, and are we going to be able to have documentation when the auditors come or when TEA comes, if we have to get a grant validation or things like that. They do such a great job. And then a quick fact about them. These ladies process all kinds of payments, vendor payments, anytime our coaches or sponsors, anyone's traveling, even our teachers to professional development, they deal with the travel reimbursements, payments to officials, any kind of official that, from football, baseball, basketball, all the way to helping at music contests, judging that. Processing any kind of accounts receivable runs through this group, so any kind of money that the district receives, making sure it's coded properly, gets to the bank timely, and then also completing like a monthly internal audit function. They do several of those. Number of checks is at least 2,600 a month more, depending on what's going on. Then also a lot of money running through their hands. Same thing, we have double and triple checks to make sure things are not getting out of the door. We safeguard really well to make sure there's no kind of fraudulent activity. People try anything these days, and that's one thing that we have seen actually here is fraudulent emails coming in, and someone wanting a direct deposit changed and having to really be diligent to make sure we're checking, did an employee really send this, or did a vendor really send this? We really try to stay on top of that, and everyone does a great job of making sure we're being really diligent. Is this a legitimate email? Is this a legitimate document? Really double checking and verifying and safeguarding the district funds. And then last but not least, our finance team. Jennifer Bill is our comptroller. Tanya Kerrigan is our special programs accountant. Alejandra Chavaria and Tracy Jenkins are both executive finance assistants, but they operate in very different ways. Amber Kendrick is our software analyst, and she serves many departments in the district, but she's housed with us in finance. And then Keith Dow is our budget coordinator. These people are all so great. Same thing, they have some heavy loads and do such a great job at getting their work done. I don't have to, I'm very fortunate. I don't have to hound anyone to do their job. They're on it. Keith is such a wealth of knowledge. I know you all know Keith, and it's so nice to have him next door that I can, for historical reference, or what do you think about this? Bounce an idea off of you. It's so great to work with each of them. Jennifer and Tanya mainly manage the grants. Tracy Jenkins functions as student and campus activity, and Alejandra does the general ledger and the bank reconciliations, which is a very big job. Amber helps with software, and if you know anything about software, there's always something. So she is very busy, and then Keith is training us, because he'll be leaving us into full-time retirement in the summer, on SHARs and fixed assets, taking over the last few little things that he's done for the district. That's we're in a transition with him right now. And so did you know that we have over 75 different funds? So schools do fund accounting. So our general ledger, our general bank account, you think of your deposits and your expenses out of one bank account. Well, in fund accounting, it may be 35 funds to all keep in balance revenues and expenses, and they all balance into one bank account. So we have over 75 different funds, 38 grants and counting, and I think 38 was probably a little conservative. We have over 200 campus and student activity accounts, so Ms. Jenkins stays very busy. And then this number kind of astounded me a little. We have over 27,655 general ledger lines in our general ledger to keep balanced. Our journal entries are just a normal function in accounting and finance to keep the books as they should be and keep them reconciled. So we are not short on work, but we absolutely love it. And I could not do what I do without any of them. They are absolutely great at what they do. We have a fun work environment. We love to decorate and have our celebrations for birthdays every month. It really is such a great group. I can't say enough great things about them. And certainly it would be hard for me to try to do everything by myself. There's no way I could. So without them, I would be a little bit lost, I guess I could say. I wanted to talk about a little bit of improvements we're making. There's a super great need to cross-train, right? People, you can get sick, you can, there's all kinds of things that can happen. So there's a lot of cross-training going on in our office to where we're never without someone. If someone's out, that function is not going to go, very long without someone picking it up and taking it on. We like to use Planner for our team, and then also the big deal here, we got on a monthly drawdown schedule for our grant funding. That was a little bit of a change, and so the girls have picked that up to where they're monthly, every month, doing expense reports for all 38 plus grants and drawing down our funds from the state. Not only for cash flow purposes, it helps us generally shuffle the funds into tax pool to where we're earning interest on them. But really telling TEA, hey, we need our money, we want our money, so we're gonna draw down every single month and make sure we're good stewards of that. A few other improvements, we've really gone to a deadline-driven monthly task list, and this was a little bit of a shift too. That has been well received, and actually it just keeps the flow of business moving very smooth. So that was another thing. This training is more professional development in our area. As things change at not only the state level, but the federal level, which is the case in a lot of our grants, it's really important that the people in our office also stay up to date on training and professional development to know what the latest thing is coming out and make sure we're accounting for things. GASB standards can change, the governmental accounting standard boards. We want to make sure we're accounting for things as they should be. And generally we use the Service Center, and then also getting people looped in with TASBO, not only for classes and training, but several of them are working towards their certification with TASBO. I'm not going to go over every single goal, but we sat down and had a good session of goal setting and what we wanted our office to look like and ways that we could improve, things we could do different, more efficiently. And that's really where some of the goals came out of. You can see a lot of them say less paper. It's not ever going to say paperless, but less paper is a good goal. So a lot of these we've already met. So we'll keep striving and keep growing, building towards those, just improving as much as we can in any area we can. And that is all I have. I really wanted to give them a really good recognition of all their hard work. Many of them are long tenured employees, and I just could not be more proud to be in the finance department with them. They are a great group, and I appreciate each one of them. And do y'all have any questions for me?
I don't have a question, but that was a home run of a presentation. That
Yes.
was really good.
Be sure you tell them how much we appreciate them
Yes,
based
ma'am.
on what your appreciation is for them. I'm sure they're proud and appreciate you too.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great job, Jennifer. Thank you.
Thanks.
We'll now move to item 9, to the business items that need board action. The first up is adequate funding for public schools. Dr. Kuhn has a little more information about that.
So as you undoubtedly know, Texas state officials have not increased Texas public school funding since 2019, before COVID-19. And inflation, construction costs, things like that have gone up dramatically in that time. We have the legislature going into session in January. They are considering school funding, and I have prepared a resolution that I would ask you to approve that would just lend your voice to the voices of hundreds of other Texas public school districts who are calling on the legislature to provide adequate public school funding.
Okay. That is something that we've all been very familiar with. This board has an opportunity to make a statement in a formal and on record as a board. I'm kind of excited about that. So is there a motion regarding a resolution regarding adequate funding for public schools?
I move to approve the resolution regarding adequate funding for public schools as presented.
I second. Cindy Earl, we'll take a roll call vote. Cindy Earls?
Yes.
Taylor Tidmore?
Yes.
Rodney Goodman?
Yes.
Blair Schrader?
Yes.
Danny Wheat?
Yes.
Angie Wiley, yes. Bill Enriquez?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. And Dr. Kuhn, can you kind of tell us what that, does it get sent to Austin or it just goes on record?
We keep our resolutions in a book full of resolutions, and I plan to make a copy of this resolution and share it with Stan Lambert.
Okay, thank you. We'll now move to item B, application with TEA for partnership under Senate Bill 1882. Dr. Kuhn, this has more information on that.
Senate Bill 1882 was passed in 2007, and it permits school districts to enter into partnerships with other entities, including higher education partners, municipalities, charter management organizations, to permit innovative approaches to educational improvement. This type of partnership avails significant new funding opportunities to school districts and meshes well with existing AISD initiatives such as System of Great Schools. There is significant new revenue available through Senate Bill 1882, and I am recommending that you would grant me permission to begin the application process for Senate Bill 1882 partnership, with the understanding that beginning the application process does not commit us to entering into a partnership. It just allows us to if we so choose later.
Is there any further discussion? I would like to also add, if we, getting application and going through the application process and getting approved keeps us from having to wait a whole nother year to do this, because it's in December every year. So it allows us to take a whole year to have this conversation with the option of taking action.
Yes.
So we can have a meaningful conversations about it. Okay. Is there a motion regarding application with TEA for partnership under Senate Bill 1882?
I move to approve application with TEA for partnership under Senate Bill 1882 as presented.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We'll now take a roll call vote. Rodney Goodman?
Yes.
Angie Wiley, yes. Cindy Earls?
Yes.
Blair Schrader?
Yes.
Hi, Bill. Danny Wheat?
Yes.
Taylor Tidmore?
Yes.
Bill Enriquez?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. Let's move to item C, resolution establishing a rate for the 24-25 early notice. Wait, we're going to move that, we're going to do a little adjustment to our, we're going to go on to item D. Casting votes for the Board of Directors of the Taylor County Appraisal District. Jennifer Hines, back up. Thank you, Jennifer.
Yes, ma'am.
We've heard a lot about this, so this is the final
Yes,
nail
ma'am.
in the, not coffin, but nail in our brains. Nail in our brains.
Yes, ma'am. And I've got just a little recap. We started this process in September with just a review. Last month, we did the nomination for Taylor County Board of Directors. And so this month, it is voting on the ballot. So this year, we get 1,237 votes. And just a reminder, we have nominated Mr. John Stearns to be our representation on the board. So the last thing is just to assign the votes. So the recommendation is for the board to approve the resolution assigning 1,237 votes to Mr. John Stearns for service on the Central Appraisal District of Taylor County Board of Directors for a term of office beginning January 1st of 2025.
Okay. Thank you, Jennifer. Is there a motion regarding casting votes for the Board of Directors for the Taylor County Appraisal District? I don't mind. I'll move to approve the resolution assigning 1,237 votes to Mr. John Stearns.
Second.
For service on the Central Appraisal District of Taylor County for a term office beginning January 1, 2025. And Cindy seconds that, I'm assuming. We'll take a roll call vote. Blair Schrader.
Yes.
Danny Wheat. Taylor Tedmore.
Yes.
Bill Enriquez.
Yes.
Rodney Goodman.
Yes.
Angie Wiley, yes. Cindy Earls.
Yes.
Great.
Do you want to go back to Allison? She just walked in.
You ready, Allison? The motion passes 7-0. Back to item C, which is the board will consider a resolution establishing a rate for the 24-25 early notice departure.
Yes.
This Allison Sims, Associate Superintendent of Human Resources.
Yes. So back in October during board workshop, I shared with you an enhanced rate for the early notice of departure. Here's our current regulation that employees will be paid for their local sick days at a rate of number of years of service in Abilene ISD at a maximum of 5 days per year, multiplied by $75 per day of local leave plus a base of $1,000. So the recommendation is to change it to everything stays the same except for it's $100 per day, which gets it to the sub rate, the rate for a sub plus $1,000. And the enhancement is here, 20 years, $3,000, 25, an additional $5,000, 30, an additional $7,000, and then 35 years in the district, an additional $9,000. So this would only apply to the spring of 2025, and the way that the resolution is written, it would mean we would come back next year about this time and rediscuss what we wanted to do, if anything, with that regulation.
Okay, thanks. Will anyone have, is there a motion?
Can we take out the $100 and just put this current sub rate?
Well, we can, since we're coming back to it, we can eventually change that if we want to. The way it's written right now is $100 because that's the sub rate, but because this is only, the way the resolution is worded, it's only for this spring, we would have to come back to it anyway next year to discuss it again. But we can,
Okay.
we can eventually change it to that, or I can make some edits on that.
Because it's a one-time
You can make a
thing.
motion to approve the resolution with that change, and then,
Sure.
and then we'll change it.
But is it necessary because it's already dated for the one time?
If we come
One
back
spring.
next year and it's still the sub rate, we don't have to change anything next year if we
With the
decide
date.
to.
Well, we would have
If we
to,
keep it the same.
we would have to change potentially the enhancement, the additional
And the date.
20, 25, 30, 35 that we're offering this year. We've not done that before, and so I anticipate that next year we might not want to continue that, but we might. I don't know.
Depends on what the situation
It depends
we're
on what this.
But
where
either
this
way, it
gets us.
comes back to us again, and so it's
Correct.
not as if we're saving
Any
a
time.
wonderful presentation from you a year from now, talking about the same thing, correct?
No, Either way is fine. Either way is fine. We can put it in as the sub rate, but I suspect we would want to come back to it to see if the board wanted to continue that enhancement that we're doing this year.
Okay.
I move to approve the resolution establishing the rate for the 2024-25 early notice of departure as presented.
We have a motion by Blair. Do we have a second?
Second.
We'll take a roll call vote. Taylor Tidmore?
Yes.
Bill Enriquez?
Yes.
Rodney Goodman?
Yes.
Angie Wiley? Yes. Cindy?
Let me think about this.
Cindy Earl?
Yes.
Blair Schrader?
Yes.
Danny Wade? Motion passes 7-0. Now we don't want to do D again, so let's go on to item E, student cell phone policy. Dr. Gustavo Villanuevo, Associate Superintendent for Student Services. Welcome.
This is another one of those items that you've heard a lot about. And so it's pretty simple. What we're asking you today is that you approve us or give us permission to go ahead and begin the process of planning a ban on cell phone and electronic devices at the high school throughout the instructional day. I've given you on paper this time a copy of this presentation, which tells you why we're considering the ban, and there's a lot of good reasons to do so. We've had those discussions before. This resolution that we're asking you to support is to officially authorize our principals, administrators of the high schools to begin the planning process and set the groundwork for what the policy would look like, and then to engage with stakeholders, that includes staff, students, parents, and begin that communication process after the planning. Okay, we're looking, the key actions in this resolution is for us to do some detailed planning, so we want to be able to move forward, and the reason we're asking for a resolution is because you're not going to change policy today. You're giving us permission with the idea that in the summer of 2025, you will come back and change the policy to meet all of the planning that we have done. We'd hate to do all that planning and then not have some level of commitment from the board to do that. We want to make sure that we engage our community, that we communicate beginning as early as we can with our parents, teachers, students about the policy change. And then we want to look at what are the needs, what is it that we're going to need in terms of implementing this type of policy. And I know we've talked about several things, but we've not yet had time to sit down and decide what is it that we really need, and we want, again, are asking for your permission to move forward in that direction. So we'd like for you to sign off on this resolution today with the understanding that we'll come back, we'll keep you informed, and then we'll come back in the summer asking that you review the policy that we've come up with and that hopefully you approve it. I think it's also good to wait because it is a legislative year and who knows what the state's going to do, and so we might just need to merge those two things at once. Any questions?
I want to compliment the team. I know this is something that I've certainly brought up more than once, and I know that there's a lot of work that goes into it, but I appreciate that as we're seeing other school districts do this across Texas and the United States, that I think we're taking a responsible approach. I think the data would suggest that there's value for the students to have these no longer in their possession during school, but we also recognize that it's easy to say just take them out and not be mindful of the implications and what that means from a classroom standpoint, from a parent communication standpoint and the like. So thank you for taking the time to do this work and to continue the effort. So with that, I would move to approve a resolution authorizing Abilene AISD administration to take initial steps toward implementing a ban on student cell phone use during the instructional day at high schools beginning in 2025 and 26 school year as presented.
Thank you. We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Rodney, or Danny? Rodney. Oh, Rodney.
Either one.
Let's take a roll call vote. Bill Enriquez?
Yes.
Taylor Tidmore?
Yes.
Blair Schrader?
Yes.
Danny Wheat?
Yes.
Rodney Goodman?
Yes.
Cindy Earls?
Yes.
Angie Wiley? Yes. Motion passes 7-0. Let's move on to item F, Facilities Assessment Request for Qualifications with Dr. Joseph Waldron, our Deputy Superintendent. Welcome.
Thank you, Ms. President, Dr. Kuhn, and members of the board. Appreciate the opportunity to present this to you this evening. Abilene ISD led a request for qualifications for the services of doing a facilities assessment in our district. It was last performed or asked for in 2012. It was delivered in 2013. The request for qualifications was done in accordance with Texas Government Code 2269.057. We had 8 respondents. The responses were evaluated by a district team. That's not required in this process, but we felt like it was most fair to evaluate each respondent against the others, create a level playing field that way. There was a clear, let me slow down. There was a clear top ranked. So the timeline kind of went like this. We were at step 2 just a little while ago. Today we're at step 3 to recommend to you to authorize contract negotiations. Unlike in RFP, where you get a complete package of proposal that includes timeline and money and all kinds of things in it, a request for qualification is required to be evaluated just based on the qualifications of the responders. Following action tonight, we will start negotiations for a contract pending your approval. Just like in the bid process, if those negotiations with the top ranked respondent go south, we will go to the next. And we'll continue on until we've exhausted what we feel like is our ability to get a qualified facilities assessment done. I don't see that happening, so the processes are a little different, but they are somewhat the same. I just wanted to let you know that we don't have a contract or a price yet. We just have a highly qualified person we'd like to talk to. That's how this process works. The timeline for this is illustrated in step 4, where the project will commence, hopefully, with a kickoff meeting in the next 5 to 7 business days, and then a lot of work. The last facilities assessment was 360 pages long. We expect that kind of detail in the next one. So a lot of work to be done, but to be presented to the board in March of 25. Just as a little side note, we also expect our demographer, their timeline is also to have their study all the way complete on that similar timeline. So tonight we're here to ask you to, and it's a very long motion, I apologize, but that does meet the criteria for the process, and you get to read it, to authorize negotiations with Huckabee. Huckabee is partnering with a company called Amoresco in order to do this facilities assessment. We hope to negotiate that contract beginning tomorrow morning and get to the point where a favorable, fair agreement can be made. And if not, we'll move on to the next.
Okay. Thank you. So it's very similar to what was done before the last bond. But before a bond, when you're assessing your facilities, so you know where to spend your money.
Yes, I'll just say that, yes.
Right. That's the last time we did that with standards of how you evaluate a building.
Yeah, Texas Education Agency has building standards, and so does architectural firms and things like that.
Okay. It's been a bit since we've done it.
Yes, although the focus of this is not necessarily a bond program, the
No.
focus of this is to understand our physical plant of our district.
Okay.
In order to make informed decisions moving forward about where things are and what we operate and what we don't.
Okay. So do we have a motion in regard to this?
It's a long one.
Sure, I'll tackle it. Move to select Huckabee based on demonstrated competence and qualifications as the top-ranked professional service provider pursuant to Facilities Assessment Request for Qualifications Number 3, 2425, and to delegate authority to the superintendent or his designee to negotiate, finalize, and execute contract for the project for a fair and reasonable price. If a contract with this firm cannot be reached, the superintendent or designee is authorized to continue negotiations with the next most qualified firm and repeat until a contract may be reached or the RFQ is not awarded.
Well done. We have a motion by Dr. Tidmore, and do we have a second?
Second.
We'll take a roll call vote. Taylor Tidmore,
Yes.
Blair Schrader,
Yes.
Danny Wheat, Bill Enriquez.
Yes.
Oh, goodness. Angie Wiley, yes. Cindy Earls,
Yes.
Rodney Goodman.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. And so this leaves us to items covered in closed session. The board, section 10, item 10. So we have, is there a motion regarding the student discipline appeal matter?
I move to uphold the decision of administration and affirm the expulsion of the student.
We have a motion by Danny Wheat. Do we have a second?
Second.
Cindy? We'll take a call vote now. Cindy Earls,
Yes.
Danny Wheat,
Yes.
Taylor Tidmore,
Yes.
Blair Schrader,
Yes.
Bill Enriquez,
Yes.
Angie Wiley, yes. Rodney Goodman.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. There being no further business, this meeting is adjourned. It is 7:41.